Working with a very misogynistic man completely annihilated my sex drive. Hi. I hope that by sharing this I might get some advice and insight as it's taking a big toll on my relationship. I'm not trying to get into all the details because it would be too long, but here's the context. I work with my partner in his business, and 2 years ago, he hired a man who was seemingly perfectly nice and normal. Turned out he was the most misogynistic person I've ever met, to the point that even our male coworkers were sometimes put off or shocked by the things he said. The worst part is probably that at the beginning, I really liked him and we were friendly, and I felt incredibly betrayed when I realized the deep-seated hatred that he had towards women. Makes me feel like I'll never be able to trust a man ever again. To give a few examples of his behavior, he once told us that he showed funny, animated videos of DV to the women he went on a first date with and showed us these videos. He said that he hoped that his future wife's father would be dead so he could do everything he wanted with her, called female customers whores because they were wearing tank tops. Said that women actually liked being dominated and even hit because they enjoy violence in bed. There was something like that every fucking damn day. It ended up driving me literally crazy to the point that I didn't even want to go to work anymore. He was also constantly checking the way I dressed and if it was modest enough for his liking. He kept interrupting me, shutting me down, was weirdly passive-aggressive, and if he had a bad day, I knew that I needed to avoid him because he would take it out on me. It sometimes felt like I was in a toxic relationship with him, even though I was married to his boss. It took months for my husband to fire him, even though he could see how toxic the workplace had become. I'm the only woman working there, and because men apparently can't help behaving like sheep, the other male co-workers that I previously liked ended up imitating some of the behavior, as if him being misogynistic suddenly made it okay for them to talk and behave the same way. It took me telling my husband that he had to choose between working with me or this dude for him to finally react and fire him. This plus evenings and evenings of arguing over that, and a lot of tears from me. From my husband's perspective, he disliked his behavior, but he was an efficient employee. I also think that deep down he could tolerate it to some degree since he wasn't the target of the nastiness this dude spouted. He doesn't work with us anymore, and it's been 6 months now, but I don't feel the same. My husband recognizes that he should not have allowed this behavior in the workplace. He did not participate, though, and that it was harmful. But I'm now hyper-aware of things that I used to overlook/ignore/not see. And I watch content creators like Bourbon Bougie and YV_Reddit all the time. I learn a lot. I try to educate others, but my perspective on men has shifted and I don't know if it can ever be repaired. And I've lost all sex drive. I don't feel like I can trust men. Even the good ones don't intervene or stop these cruel and vile behaviors. At best, they pretend not to hear. At worst, they participate and encourage them. Has something like that happened to one of you? How can you move on, forgive, and not put all of them in the same basket? I don't want to destroy my relationship because of this bad experience. Update. My husband is victim blaming me, and I'm done. Kind of needed to make a post about it because this sub has helped me tremendously before understand that I wasn't crazy. I posted a few weeks ago about the abuse directed at me that my husband allowed in our workplace. For a reminder, I work in his business. I'm an employee. It doesn't belong to me. And a guy that worked for him for 2 years ended up harassing me, targeting me with misogynistic, cruel jokes. You're useless because you don't have kids, for example, when I have infertility problems, something he doesn't know, but is deeply painful for me, plus making awfully dehumanizing comments about women in general. It took 6 months of tears, of endless discussions, and finally a threat of me leaving the workplace for my husband to finally fire him. I thought he'd learn, but he didn't. He has hired another guy. The other guy has started doing very shady stuff too, like telling me to bugger off the way after only 3 days. My native language isn't English, and I don't know if bugger off is as rude as it is in my language. It might actually be closer to something like get the fuck out off my way, repeatedly, plus jokingly asking my husband in front of me, is she always that annoying, or is she just on her period? Maybe I should add that this dude's favorite game is to pretend to hit me in the face with his fist, elbow, or shoulder. Multiple times. In front of my husband. I know I'm probably an enabler. I know I freeze in these situations because I don't know how to react. Same exact reaction I had when I was rap *** as a preteen. I know I'm weak. But I didn't expect my husband to just stand there again, doing nothing, and to tell me that there must be something wrong with you if it keeps happening to you. Why does it only happen to you? It kills me to hear someone I love tell me that men abuse me because they feel that I'm weak and that somehow makes me responsible for the abuse. My husband is much older than me. I've met him when I was only 20. He gave me a job, a place to live, lied a lot, dismissed a lot of my complaints when he was doing hurtful things to me. I feel gaslighted by everyone since so many people have told how he's such a great guy, how lucky I am, etc. But I don't feel lucky. I've verbally vomited everything to my parents about this and more. And, thankfully, they're ready to welcome me into their house and to take care of me until I find another job/place to live. I think I've been emotionally abused for 10 years, and I didn't even notice. When I've realized that I had infertility problems and wanted to try because I was so scared that I might never be able to get pregnant, he kept playing an awfully malicious game. 1 month he'd tell me we were going to try, and the month after he'd tell me he had changed his mind. It almost made me physically sick, until I finally decided to give up on having children. Sorry for being so messy in this post. Thank you for the support I've received before.